What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, you guys. This is Season 3, Episode number 3, you guys. And this episode is titled Open for Business, you guys. Now, before we go ahead and jump into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this episode of Raising Kanan, shall we? All right, you guys, so I'm gonna start up with the feds, then I'm gonna work my way around. So we'll talk about the feds, then I think we'll talk about Neek, and then we'll end with Rock Them, or nope. We'll talk about the feds first, Rock and the family, and then end it with Neek, because Neek's storyline in this episode was interesting, which is why he is, I noticed he is the, if you guys go to the website, not the website, but the app, the thumbnail that I have on here is the thumbnail that they have as well for the episode. So, Neek is the thumbnail, but this episode, we talk about the feds first, right? So the feds pulled up on Stefano, right? And they're asking him about the hit on Sal, and Stefano's like, shit, I don't know nothing about what y'all talking about. Like, I deal with fish and fish only, right? So they're like, okay, so since you don't want to tell us anything, we're going to take you downtown. And the reason why we're taking you downtown is because you have this exotic fish that is, about to be extinct, right? Or endangered. And he was like, I don't even know what the fuck a red Pocahontas is. They said it's not a red Pocahontas, it's red something. And so then also your boy over here got a gun, so we got a gun charge on that as well. Now, we see the feds. They are at the station with Stefano and his attorney, right? And Stefano's attorney is like, we looked at the fish. The fish ain't what y'all said it was, so that's null and void. The gun charge, that is too as well. So there's basically spelling it out for Stefano that they know, they have a feeling that he's behind this because, all this stuff happened in his neighborhood. So, the deceased Italians, the people with Rock, Neek, and all that stuff, they know that somehow he's tied to it, and they trying to get him. And he's like, I'm just a man who sells fish. Once again, y'all ain't got nothing on me. Like, y'all don't even know what kind of fish I was fucking looking for and what kind of fish I actually had. So that's that. Now, remember, the feds have set up at the police precinct, right? And so Howard went back there to where the captain is, and Howard really ain't happy that it's a bunch of feds swooping around. So Howard asked the captain, like, have you heard anything? Have they told you anything? And at this point, the captain doesn't know anything. It's on I guess you could say it's on a need-to-know basis, or it ain't even on a need-to-know basis. We need your office. You don't get to know anything about our operations, right? And so the captain's not feeling this stuff as well. And then they talked about the situation with Burke. So Howard is under the impression that everything is smooth and clear with Burke, right? But unfortunately, everything is not smooth and clear with Burke because of Burke's girlfriend. And, the captain said that she's making a lot of noise. Now, we see as Howard pulled up on the girlfriend to have a conversation with her, right? And he's trying to still play it off as if, Burke took her own life. And the girlfriend is like, Shannon told me that if something happened to her, that is not what it looks like. Now, here's the thing that I would say. How would Shannon know that? Because Shannon was going to try to get the drop on Howard. Shannon had a gun on her, so she was intending to probably take out Howard. She was probably intending to take, why did that fool have a gun on him? Because she was recording him. Like I said, with Shannon played her cards dumb. But once again, like I said, Howard is still trying to play it off like Shannon really did take her own life, that, everybody in the department cared about her, but she couldn't see what a good cop she actually was. I was like, well, damn. I don't really feel like he's going to get away with it. I feel like his guilty conscience is either going to eat him up, or something's going to happen when it comes to Howard. I just don't know what it is, but definitely something's going to happen when it comes to this Shannon stuff. So after that, now is he, assalamu alaikum, what is that? What is that? Y'all know I don't know other religions besides Christianity and Baptist. Because I grew up Baptist, but I switched to Christianity. But I don't know. Assalamu alaikum. Whatever that religion is, no shade to anybody. I just don't know what it is. But he was outside of, where they practice, right? Their religion. And the guy came up to him and like, we ain't saw you here in a while. I was like, you ain't saw him here in a while because that man's guilty conscience is eating at him, like tugging at his heartstrings. Like, I'm like, ooh, Howard. How do you think you're gonna get out of this one, buddy boy? Because if the police don't catch you, the man up above got you. I mean, I know you did what you felt like you needed to do to protect you and Rock and Kanan, but yikes. Yikes. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. Next up, you guys, Kanan. Oh my God. So watching this episode and watching that young man play Kanan, it was really grinding my gears. And the reason why I was grinding my gears is because he talks with his jaw so clenched. He really is getting down to 50 Cent, the way 50 talks, right? But 50 didn't start talking, 50 probably didn't talk like this in his younger years. 50 started talking like this after he got shot 9 times. Like his jaw, didn't he also get his jaw wired at one point? I'm thinking when he got, like, that's the reason why 50 talks like the way he talks. Young 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson did not probably talk like this. So I'm kind of confused why this young man is going that route, but it is what it is, right? Now, Kanan wakes Fame up to let Fame know, like, yo, I reached out to Simrad and Simrad wants to talk to us. And I was like, so that nigga really want to go through it working with 2 teenagers and then he wants to work with Fame who is smoking his own supply? Why? Fame was like, yo, let me sleep. Like, I'll get up in a few minutes. And Kanan was like, you know what? Fuck it. So Kanan left. And then we see Kanan, he met with Simrad. And so he's telling Simrad about how he wants to use the couriers to, facilitate the weed, moving the weed around. And Simrad was like, why would I want to do that when I got people who come to my front door to get this shit? Now, Kanan made a very valid point. I will give him that because he made the point of like, if you do this, they ain't got to come to your door. You ain't got to worry about them getting high outside of your building. You ain't got to worry about the people in your building complaining about it. I was like, that is pretty smart. But it's weed. So it's not like you got meth heads and heroin addicts just laid out all up in his building. But I mean, it's smart. So Simrad is like, you know what? I'ma rock with you, but I don't want that nigga Fame involved in it, right? Because Fame came over to the crib. I guess he got high and he ate the Captain Crunch up because the little boy was still listening. I was like, this is so interesting. Simrad is literally doing business in front of his son. Like, nigga, your child is right here playing a video game, but your child is still here nonetheless. Now, but like I said, he told him, like, hey, I'm going to rock with this. The first sign that this goes bad, I'm ixnaying it, right? And I'm like, cool. Now, we see Juke. Juke is with Lou, and she's rehearsing a song that she wants to perform for the audition, right? And with the audition, they're gonna do a song. Now, I was kind of confused. Oh, okay, I get it, because it came up later in the episode. So they're making an arrangement for a song that she's gonna perform, and it actually sounded good. One thing I noticed, because I have listened to Haley Kilgore singing. Her voice is beautiful. She has a song that I listened to, I think it was last year or the year before last. Really good song. She does I don't have a problem with people who do a lot of riffs and runs, but in this episode, she was on a lot of riffs and runs. But I don't have an issue with it, because I always feel like people who do riffs and runs, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can sing. It just means that you can do a lot of riffs and runs. But Haley Kilgore, her voice is astounding and amazing, and I love her voice. So that's not a knock on her. Now, Rock, we see her. She was talking to Howard, and Howard was letting her know about this task force that they're looking into all the crime families in, in New York, and they're looking at, in Queens, South Jamaica, and all that kind of stuff, right? And Rock was like, I'm out of the business, and he was like, you might be telling yourself that you're out the business, but they're not gonna believe that you're out the business, right? And so he tells her, like, if you have any loose ends out there, to tie them bad bitches up, right? And so he also told her that, I saw Kanan the other day, and he was with a group of boys that I have no idea who they were. And so she brought up the fact of his partner. He said she took herself out. And me and Rock are looking at him like, if that's the lie that you want to go with, you go with it, right? But it is what it is. So after this, we see Rock. Rock went and she went over to Fame and Kanan's place. Actually, let's be real. This is Fame's place. Kanan is just crashing. So she knocked on the door, and Fame woke up and went to the door because she heard him. And so she came inside and she asked Fame, like, so who are these new boys that Kanan is running around with? And he was like, I don't know nothing about no new friends. But he said he don't know nothing about no new friends, right? And then she also gave him some money. So she said, if y'all have any issues, come to me. And I was like, okay, I don't think Kanan gonna go for this, but cool. Now she also gave him the money because she saw the maps that they have on the display out, and she asked him what's going on. And once again, Fame says he don't know what's going on. And he told her that Kanan is running with some kids from school, but no new friends. I mean, he don't know nothing about that. So next up, we see Rock when she left, and when she walked out, she saw this big, utility van, right, in the foreground, and actually was in the background. It was in the background, but she saw the utility van, and when she saw the utility van, she immediately knew it was the feds watching her, right? So she got in her car and she put that bitch in reverse, damn near hit the fire hydrant, and boom, jetted out of there, right? And she went over to Marvin's crib where she saw Juke, and she found out from Marvin that Juke has the audition, and she gave Juke a necklace, and she told Juke, like, you got that, you got this in a bag, right? And so she also asked Juke about Kanan, and Juke was like, I ain't really saw Kanan, since I've been working on this audition. And so Rock was like, if you do see him, let me know that you saw him, right? And she said, I got you. The interesting thing, I'm still thinking about this. I wonder, so I think now we're starting to see the start of Juke getting into law enforcement, right? But I'm still wondering, how do we get the jukebox that we got in the original Power from this jukebox? Because this jukebox is a good girl. No, all trouble that she got into was the trouble of stealing boosting those clothes, season 1, right? That's the only thing that we know from Juke was she boosted clothes. So how do we get the dirty cop Juke, and then how do we get Juke and Kanan, who are ace boom coons on this show, to being enemies against each other in the original Power? I am so interested to see how we got there. I'm interested to see a lot of things. And the other question that I wonder is, what year are we currently in? I know we're in the 90s, but where about in the 90s are we? Because you guys still know at some point I feel like we're going to get, I know somebody asked me in the comments last week, who was Breeze. We never met Breeze because Breeze was already deceased in the original Power, but it was linked to Ghost, Kanan, and Tommy. So I'm wondering, when are we going to get introduced to Ghost and Tommy? Like, because Ghost, if I'm not mistaken, aren't Ghost and Tommy just a little bit young? Ghost and Tommy are younger than Kanan is, right? And Kanan is a teenager in this series. So I'm wondering when we're going to get to that stuff. I wonder if that'll be I wonder if we'll start to get there like the end of this season and the beginning of next season. I don't know. I'm curious. I wonder how many seasons they're going to give of these series right here, right? Like Ghost and Raising Kanan and the Force. Because the original Power was 6 seasons, and we're on season 3 of this, and we're about to be on season 4 of Ghost in the beginning of next year. I done got sidetracked, but it is what it is. You guys know me. When I get on a tangent, I don't know how to get off of it. But that's where we are. Now, we move back over to Kanan, right? So Kanan got back to the crib and he told Fame that they are going to be doing this business with Paul. And Fame still feels like this is a bad idea. Like, you shouldn't shit where you eat. And Kanan was like, I don't even know what that means. I was like, it's self-explanatory, sir. It's very self-explanatory. You don't you don't make a mess where you eat. Like, you don't bring mess into your home. It's very self-explanatory. But hey, if he don't know what it means, he don't know what it means. So yeah, so then we see Fame. So Fame went and got one of the cereal boxes, right? And took the money that Rock gave to him out and told Kanan that Rock had came over there with the money, and Kanan was pissed and slapped that nigga in the face, talking about don't take no money from her and don't let her in this house. And if you do let her in this house again, I'ma fuck you up. Sir, who you talking to? Who you talking to? And Fame just sat there. I was like, Fame, you a punk. You weak. My homie ain't not finna come in my crib and slap me around. Nah, bitch. You ain't finna slap me the fuck around. Get the fuck out of here. Now, we see Jukebox, right? So she's looking at that army brochure, and then we see Marvin. So Marvin and Lou are at the club, and you guys know that Marvin is, pushing the weight as well, right? So he got a page from someone, and it was 911, and he was like, who the fuck is this paging me 911? So he went and took the phone call, and he came back and told Lou, like, yo, I got to go, and, don't get into no kind of trouble. Well, he shouldn't have said that to Lou, because Lou definitely got himself in a whole lot of trouble. Because Lou took his drunk behind down the street, and he went into a bar. When he went into the bar, there was a woman in there, her name is Shirley, and she was playing a record. Now, the record happens to be with his father, and the woman knows their dad. And at one point in this scene, there was there was a guy in there who was basically heckling these guys on the stage who were rapping, and Lou told him, like, yo, stop fucking with them, and Lou knocked the man out and got thrown into a drunk tank. Marvin, when he left the bar, he went to a seedy motel room, and there was Gerald, looked like he was strung out, and these two looked like meth heads were trying to extort money from Marvin in return for Gerald's safety. I was like, now Marvin, these look like two junkies. You could have took them. Literally, you could have took them. They look like two junkies. So Marvin got Gerald out of there. And then we move back over to Kanan. So Kanan is giving the weed out to the guys to sell, right? And, one of the guys is giving him a little flack, but he eventually did it. And then we see Rock. So Rock was getting her hair done, and the ladies were speaking Spanish, and they told Rock, she was like, can you, do my hair, bitch? And the woman was like, oh, girl, so our landlord, we just had an issue with our landlord because right now he's trying to sell the place, but nobody wants to buy this shithole, and so he's increasing the rent. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit of detail just a little bit later. Now, we did see as, Kanan and Fame, business is booming for them, right? Because the couriers are coming up, bringing them the money. We see Juke, and she got to the audition, so she and Marvin are there, and there is no Lou. And then Lou, like I said, in the drunk tank, seeing D-Wiz and Scrap. I was like, sir, that ain't just you being drunk, that's your guilty conscience as well. So Juke, she was very nervous, and she went to the bathroom and regurgitated. And so Marvin was able to calm her down. When Lou got out of the drunk tank, he paged Marvin, and Marvin was like, fuck you, Lou. Because he was too late for her. But Juke went in, she did the audition. They only let her sing for about like 30 seconds. Then Lou went back to the bar. He apologized to Shirley. It looked like him and Shirley gonna work some business out. Now, you guys, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. For the longest time in this episode, and I still think it might happen, Am I the only person that caught a little bit of sexual tension between that? I felt like there might be some sexual tension between Lou and Shirley. Like I thought they were gonna have sex for a minute, and then I'm like, they still could. Now, Rock, we see Rock. She is looking at this property, and once again, the feds watching her. They are some pigs. They are some true pigs because one of them talking about he want to have sex with Rock. I was like, you nasty bastard. Then at the end of this episode, Kanan and Fame was outside of their apartment, right? And once again, like I said, they were getting the courier stuff, right? Fame was like, somebody is clocking us across the street. Who the hell do you guys think was across the street clocking them? The Black Michael Myers, aka Ronnie. Ronnie gotta go because Ronnie is scary and creepy as fuck. We're gonna pause here, you guys, and we're gonna wrap up this episode. All right, you guys. So we opened the episode with Ronnie, and you guys remember in last week's episode that bouncer. I told you guys Ronnie had his eyes focused on that man. Well, the Black Michael Myers came up behind the man and beat the man to oblivion and stole some of the man's money. Then to go further creepy with Ronnie, we see him at the gym, and Unique was late to meet him, and Unique was like, I had something to do with Jerome. He said, you're still late. I was like, Ronnie, your brother is scary as hell. So Neek said, he's Ronnie asked him about business. He said he's still getting his shit together. Ronnie said, doing that. Rock is out here eating our lunch. I was like, oh my God, sir, you're weird. Then Neek said, nah, she's at the business. And Ronnie feels like, you should have took her out a long time ago, but you still can take her out now. I was like, that ain't gonna happen because he is banging Rock. And so we did later see as Neek, remember, Stefano told him last week that in order for him to really get to work with him, he got to meet the big boss, right? So the big boss is an Asian man. Now, I don't know what nationality he is. I don't want to say because I don't want to be wrong. But he's talking to Neek, and he actually ended up liking Neek and told Neek how the business works. And so he wants to give Neek a small amount, and he wants him to sell out of his cousin's Chinese restaurant. And Neek was like, nah, I don't want to do that. But he was like, no, that's what we're going to do. Mind you, this man don't fuck with the Chinese. I mean, he said that. And I know the look on Neek's face was, I was like, Neek, please don't say what I think you're going to say. Because Neek asked him, why don't you fuck with the Chinese? And I'm like, Neek, that man is not Chinese. That man is not Chinese. That was one thing I could tell you. The man was not Chinese. Because he says the Chinese think that they better than people. I'm like, Neek, that man is not Chinese. Once again, I don't know what the man is, and I'm not going to assume, but I can guarantee you that man ain't no goddamn Chinese. No offense to the Chinese people, right? But that man ain't no damn Chinese. He is not Chinese. Listen to the hatred he has for Chinese people. Again, that was him, not me. So we see Pernessa, right? So Pernessa got home with some groceries, and Ronnie was in the kitchen, and he scared the shit out of her and me, asking her, did she get his shit? I was like, nigga, can you say hello? Like, did you see me with these groceries? Oh my God. Ronnie, the Black Michael Myers, has got to go, ho. So she was like, Ronnie, where is Neek? He was like, I don't know where he is. She said, when y'all are just at the gym, he's like, I don't know where he is. He could have a side piece. I was like, oh my God. Speaking of side piece, he does have a side piece. He pulled up on Rock. When he came to Rock's place, she went outside looking to make sure nobody was watching her, right? And so they went inside and they did the do. Then we see them, the next scene, Nika's talking about how empty her place is. And she was like, she got to figure out how to, basically wash all the money that she has. And he was like, why don't you put some of it into the crib? She's like, I could, but there's still a whole lot more left after that. And I think that's why she was looking at that business that when those ladies were telling her about the landlord. I think that's why she's doing that. So Neek told Rock about Stefano and the dope connection, right? And she told him like basically watch your back and keep that shit far as fuck away from me, right? And so then we see as Neek was leaving her crib, and who was watching? The black Michael Myers. He done stole that man's car and hot wired it with um, a screwdriver. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? So Neek also went over to the cousins, which the cousin that hates the Asian, the Chinese people. He married a Chinese woman, so the cousin's restaurant is his wife's cousin, right? So Neek went over to the Chinese restaurant, and the wife was looking at him like, "That's a black man," and the Italians and her husband was like, "It makes sense because we're in his neighborhood. How would it look to have a bunch of Italians coming in and out of this restaurant?" So they are going to end up doing business with Neek, right? And that's the end of the episode, you guys. Now, if I left anything out, you guys feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. Please subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications and share the video, you guys. Until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.